There's a yellow highlighter in here, which I used as a highlight, obviously. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is fully inspired by a reel that I saw on Instagram. I think the creator's name was Pixie Ash. I'm going to link her Instagram profile and, if possible, the reel down below because her profile is amazing. She's really, really good, and I just found her the other day, and I was so inspired by this particular look. I'm going to try to recreate it today. If you want to see what I do, then just, don't go anywhere. Okay, so remembering the reel off the top of my head, what this woman did was she started with a totally blank face. She put on an orange in the crease in the outer area, then she blended it out with yellow. From there, she put white in the rest of her eyelid space. And then on top of the white, at least as far as like the center of the lid space, she put a white based, I don't know if it was a primer or a white cream eyeshadow base or something. Anyway, she did a very, very opaque white on top of the center of her lid space. She then laid down what looked like a transparent based shimmer, or at least perhaps a white shimmer. So she had like the white matte in the inner corner into the whitish transparency shimmer on most of the lid space. And then she blended that shimmer into the orangey yellow mattes with a little bit of a very light gold shimmer, but not very gold, not like in your face kind of gold. So I don't know, I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out. I'm going to have to swatch several different shimmers to try to recreate what she had. So for my matte work, I'm going to be using these three palettes. Initially, I'd pulled just the Flare palette from Ace Beauté for this orange, but then I realized that this yellow was just too warm. I really want to try to recreate the look as accurately as I can from within my collection, so I want more of a lemony yellow because I think that's what she used. So for a lemony yellow matte, I pulled out the Palettopoly palette from Ace Beauté. That matte up here is called As If. And then I need a white matte, and Lost in Los Angeles from BH Cosmetics has a good white matte. I have one or two other white mattes in my collection, but the ones from BH Cosmetics are probably my best. So then as far as the shimmers, I'm going to have to swatch. So what I'm going to do is prime my eyes using the Glamlight Icing Primer. Everything I use is linked below in the description box if you're curious. I'm going to zoom you guys in, and we're going to start with the mattes, and then I'll probably do a little bit of swatching to figure out my shimmers. I'm actually pretty excited about this video. It's been a little while since I did an inspired by video. I have a playlist on my channel. I'm a playlist person. I have playlists for almost every brand, almost every category, almost every theme. Just check my channel if you want to see what kinds of playlists I have. But I do have an inspired by playlist because I want to give credit where credit is due, and sometimes I'm just so dang inspired by somebody's look. I want to try to recreate it. I mean, within my own tastes. Like the original look for this video, she has some gems and she's got it blown out a bit more. I'm not going to go that intense, like it's not a full perfect recreation, but it's more than I'm just influenced by this person's style or their color story. I am really just trying to recreate that look within the parameters of my tastes and preferences. So I'm sorry if I seem a little hyper, scattered, or out of breath. I'm actually quite excited for this video, but I always have the time constraint of my children napping and being occupied. So I'm taking a Blend Bunny B4 and going into Pumpkin. Honestly, I was very interested in her color choices because I don't think I've ever seen yellow paired with silver. And the first time I looked at the reel, I thought that she had used a silver shimmer. And I actually sent it to a few friends of mine. I'm like, have you ever seen... I think this brush is dirty. Have you ever seen a silver and yellow pairing? It just felt very unique to me. And then when I watched the reel a few more times, I realized that it was more like a white or a transparent base. You see yellow paired with other things, but I don't think I'd seen yellow into silver, which felt different to me. I really just stuck that color in place. Now I'm going into the As If shade from Palettopoly. This is the Blend Bunny B4, and I'm using this to fill the rest of the crease and to buff out the orangey shade out here. I just happened upon this woman's profile. I happened upon that particular reel and I went, what? And so then I clicked on her profile and I looked at some of her other work, and she's very creative. Really interesting color combinations, beautiful application. Again, her information is linked down below in the description box, so if you're curious and you want to check out what she does, I can recommend her Instagram profile. It's really good. It's really good. My eye look is definitely going to be a lot warmer than the rest of my outfit. You can see the earrings that I chose today because I knew that I wanted to try to do this video. And yet, at the same time, like right now this eye look is very warm, but bringing in a white or silver shimmer is really going to change it up. It's kind of gonna throw things off a bit, which is kind of fun. Same brush, I'm now put in the yellow on my whole lower lash line. And with a smudger brush, I will go back into the Flare palette, which I should have gotten before I started that sentence. With a smudger brush back into Pumpkin, and I'm hitting the edge of this lower lash line to bring the orange into the outer corner here. I definitely had a dirty brush. You can see right up here, there was blue possibly, or brown, something in that orange. So I'm kind of tapping back into Pumpkin to try to get the true colors again. That was my fault. Oops. I'm not going to worry about cutting my crease. Again, this is my version of the eye look. It's fully inspired by, but it's the extent to which I'm comfortable as far as technique, time investment, and final result. So I'm dipping into the white in Lost in Los Angeles. It's called The Abbey. And I've got kind of a dense packing brush. It's not really loose and fluffy. It's dense and a little bit smaller. And I'm going to lay this on the rest of my... Look at that white. Oh my goodness. This is such an amazing matte white. I'm going to lay this on the rest of my lid space. And also use this, obviously, as an inner corner highlight. I'm just very liberally laying this down because it's going to be the foundation for whatever shimmer I end up putting into the eye look. Such a great white. Okay, now it's time to swatch now it's time to swatch some shimmers. Again, my first impression of her color choices was that she had laid down a silver shimmer, a very, very light, like not a liquid chrome sort of silver, just almost a warm leaning silver, but not quite, because it didn't have yellow in it. It didn't have green or brown in it. I'm now of the opinion that it was more of a white shimmer, or maybe even a translucent or clear shimmer with just like really, really sparkly, but not with any kind of a colored base, because the white underneath of it is still rather prominent. I don't know, it's a little bit trippy for me today. So I've pulled out a handful of palettes that have really nice silver or like kind of warm leaning silvers. Let me just swatch as I go. Here is the Child from ColourPop. There's a shimmer, there are two silvery shimmers in here. This one definitely has more yellow in it, and then this one is more of a silver with green. Where's a good place to swatch? Okay, so this one is definitely, I think, too silver. It is still warm leaning, but I think it's too silver. I think what I want is going to be more cool, maybe even a white shimmer. So I don't know. Here is, what is this? I can't find it. Oh, On the Horizon by Sydney Grace and Temptalia. Sorry, I'm going to try to slow down. There's a color up here called Heart Dog. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's not it at all. That looked so different on my finger and in the pan. No, that's not it. That's a silver with sort of a pink lean to it. Very pretty, but not right for today's look. Then we've got Quintessence from Temptalia and Sydney Grace, and there's a silver in here called Serious Starlight, which I'm confident is going to be far too silver. But I just wanted to... see, that's actually quite similar to the other one, except instead of leaning more pinky mauve... Oh, I was right on target. It's actually leaning more purple. They're similar, but they're both wrong for today's look. So far, their closest are one of the two from the Child. Next, we have the Norns palette from Oden's Eye, and this has an amazing silvery shimmer. It's called Optimism. It's probably the most interesting color in the palette, even including all of the multi or duochromes at the bottom. This one has such a nice light sparkly quality. It also has a bit of a lavender shift, so I think that's wrong as well. Very pretty, but wrong. Now we have Merry Christmas from Oden's Eye. I pulled this one for this shade up here called Snowflake. Okay, so this actually has a sparkle that I like, because of course it does, it's Oden's Eye. This just looks like a true silver, honestly. I don't see any other color reflects in it. I just see silver. But it's a really, really light silver, and it's not hyper metallic, so I think that is a contender as well. And then finally, I pulled the Naughty palette from BH Cosmetics because there's a white shimmer in here. It's up here called Snow Day, and I think this might be the one because it's more white, you know? Do you guys see any shift in that color? I'm trying to remember when I used the color. I think it's got pink. So I think I'm going to go for Christmas Eve, actually. And then I need sort of a really, really soft gold shimmer to work into the orange. And maybe this one from the Child would be okay. Because it is a silver, like I said, let me show it to you again. It's this one here. It is like a white silvery base, but it has a lot of yellow in it, so that might be a perfect transition into my outer corner. I mean, honestly, no matter what I do, it's going to be really interesting and very pretty. Just wiping off my arm. So I don't feel at this point that I'm going to end up with a crappy eye look. It's just how close is it going to be to my inspiration. I'll be honest with you, the snowflake shade from Oden's eye does not pick up great on the brush. It's picking up quite sparsely, but that's okay. I'm going to leave the inner, maybe the inner third of the eyelid where it's matte white. I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm just going to lay down this shadow in like the center of the lid. I'm trying it with my brush to give it the benefit of the doubt, but let's put it on with the finger and see if it's, of course it's better. Of course it's better. I think it's just the oils in our fingers pick up the shimmers so much better, and that is why you risk hard panning, because the oils can affect the shimmer in the pan as well. But that is so pretty, and all of a sudden the eye look is now cooler, right? So now it works better with my shirt. So pretty, so pretty. Now there is a yellowy shimmer inside the the Christmas Eve palette, but I think that's too yellow. I think I do want to kind of stick with the child. I'm gonna pick up the child and bridge the gap between the shimmer and the matte. Is that working? You know, I don't think it's actually doing anything, so maybe I will grab that more light shimmer in Christmas Eve. It's here called Snow Light. Just a little bit. I don't want it to take over the look. I just want to bridge the gap. I just want to warm up. That's better. On like the shimmer on its way into the matte. I really thought I might end up doing that white shimmer from the Naughty palette, but no. So pretty. I do want to grab the yellow matte again. Just because this is so orange, I want to bring in a little more yellow again. And I'm doing all of this off the top of my head. I do not have a picture of the inspiration look in front of me that I can reference. So this is just what I'm remembering. And like I said, I know that she had crystals and stuff at her inner corner. Her eye look was bigger as well. And she did a lot on her face to pull everything together. I'm not going to do any of that. That's just not me. And my baby did wake up. Fortunately, she's currently happy in her bed, but she's awake. So I'm going to quickly run out of time. This is fun. And I think that's the eye look. Quite frankly, I don't remember what the woman used in her waterline. It might have been brown. I think she did a brown, like an orangey brown wing. And I don't even think I have a brown. So I'm going to find something and I'll be right back. Well, I completely love this look. I think this is such an interesting color combination. The cool white silvery tones into the warm yellowy bronzy oranges. Absolutely beautiful. I will say when I did this eye, the colors were much more pure because I didn't have a dirty brush. So I actually had to dip into like a dirty brown shade in the Paletopoly palette to make the outer crease of this eye match the outer crease of this eye. But if I had a fully clean brush when I did the eye look, it would be even more yellow and orange and not quite as muddy up here. I still think it's quite beautiful, honestly. I think it's really, really pretty. Very fun. Let me tell you what I did to finish off. In my waterline, I used this color from ColourPop. This is the shade Fade Away. It's a vintage gold, but I didn't really want a true gold, so I took Acorn over here and I tapped that on top of the creme gel liner in my waterline. I also used this Acorn shade as a little bit of a smudgy, loose sort of wing in the outer corner, and I used that shade as a bit of contour in my cheeks. Then on my face, I'm wearing the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. There's a yellow highlighter in here, which I used as a highlight, obviously. And on my lips, I'm wearing a ColourPop Glowing Lip. This is the shade Mid-Century. That's everything. I didn't do anything else on the eyes besides mascara. So that's the whole look, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I feel like some of my looks more recently have been a bit safe, and this is not safe. This is wild, out there. Whoa, those colors, really? But I just think they're so, so beautiful together. So I did end up using these 4 palettes to create today's eye look, and I've told you about the white from BH Cosmetics, right? Can you believe how amazing that white is? It's incredible. I love the look, and I love the sparkle that Oden's Eye brings. BH Cosmetics has good shimmers, but they didn't bring this kind of fairy-like iridescent sort of sparkle. So beautiful. Just a high level of glitter, but not a glitter formula. I don't know. I'm stoked. I am stoked that not only was I able to recreate this look satisfactorily, but I also did so in a video. You know, my kids let me have a little bit of time. I think it's so beautiful. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so and you want to see more content like this, because I do try to upload several videos every week. Remember to check out Pixie Ash. Again, she's linked down below. Beautiful, beautiful Instagram profile. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being with me here today. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.